Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Space, and I just thought I'd do an art journal page today. I haven't filmed a process video for a while, so I thought I'd have a bit of a play. So I thought I'd do a bit of a Christmas in July. I've been inspired by the new Dylusions, and I wanted all the new stuff that's coming out, so I thought I'll have a bit of a Christmassy take on what I've got. So I'm working in I've just got paper protecting it, working in one of these this style journal from Art and Craft. So what I'm going to do is spray some Distress Stain Wild Honey and Distress Stain Crackling Campfire. They're the most Christmassy colours I found. Crackling Campfire, be interesting to see. It's not really a red and an orange, but we'll see. And I've got some water as well. So we don't have to shake these distress stains. It will leak under my pages and go to other pages, but I'm not really fatigued about that. So I'm going to spray on this side, spray some water and fold my book together. And let me pause because I forgot my paper towel, unless I've got a roll within handy reach. And I don't think I have, of course not. Oh yes, I do. So I have a heap of paper towel in reach because this could go everywhere. Okay, let's start. So we'll do, I haven't used Crackling Campfire before. Oh, it is quite a red. I thought it might be more of a brown red. So we're just going to put some yellow. So I'm just wanting to do an all over background. Then we're going to give it some water just to make it move a bit more. And I'm going to close my book and give it a bit of a squish. Don't want to squish it too much because I don't want it leaking out of the book. If this doesn't turn out too Christmassy, I will pick some other colours, but these are about the only colours I had. I didn't want to go red and green. I'll bring some green into it. Ooh, I like that. This needs a bit more, so let's squirt a bit more water on this. The water makes the inks move a bit more, and let's go a bit more yellow, orange. Actually, it's going to be like gold. The wild honey's like gold, which is nice, and a bit more red. Try to do what the other people do and spray and move my hand, because I tend to spray in the one spot. Didn't want to flood it too much because I don't want to flood everything everywhere. I don't think I've got my heat tool plugged in, which was handy. Just got some paper protecting my next book pages. Oh, I'm liking that. And I don't have to stop up too much extra ink. I like how it's a bit blotchy. Oh, I actually like that. That's really cool too. So this is just some newsprint that is not printed on. We get it here from the deli here in Australia. If you go and order couple of pieces of meat, my daughter orders cabana. I think I'm liking that. I think it's festive enough. Let me clean up a little. I'm going to go and dry this. Got to plug my heat tool in. So again, this was Crackling Campfire and Wild Honey background spray. Got to go dry this off and grab some more goodies, and I'll be right back. Haven't got my heat tool plugged in. Decided I want to do some ghosting in the background. So these inks are water reactive. So I've got some of my foam stamps here. Hopefully I have no other ink on them. Let's just give them a spray. No, they don't have ink on them, which is good. Sometimes I don't clean them. Just going to give them a bit of a spray and take them to the darkest areas. Now I want to hold this down for about 15 seconds. I'm trying to get my jumper out of the way. And we'll take this one and we'll stick it here. So that 15 to 30 seconds, you want that water to have time to react to the ink. And what you'll find is it may not work. Let's see if it worked. Okay, you can sort of see, can you see it? You can sort of see the ring here. Let's see if we can do that in a darker spot. Oops. Of course, I splattered sprayed the stamp upside down. So I'm standing up at the moment, so it may sound like I'm quite close to the microphone. Tend to like to stand up when I spray. Let's throw one over here. What I can do is outline these when I come to do some outlining on the page. I just thought it'd be fun to make some designs. Actually, what could be fun is to spray them with the red. I wonder if I do that. What can I do that with? I'm just wanting a non-porous surface to spray some of the ink on. Pausing for a moment. All else fails, grab your gel plate. Don't know whether this will work or not. Just going to leave my gel plate half in the clamshell. I want to spray a little bit of Crackling Campfire on there. And I want to sort of smush my stamp around in it. The reason I want to put it on the gel plate is because then it won't soak into the gel plate. It will sort of sit there. Ooh, okay. It's going to bleed a bit, but that's right. It'll give us some sari shapes. If I do some big ones as well. So I can outline these. Some of these will be covered up with my focal images and my collage. So I'm just trying to stamp them on more of the yellowy bits so they stand out. And I wonder if we go in with some wild honey, whether I could get that to stamp. I don't know. I think it might be too light. We'll do a couple of squirts of that. We'll take the bigger stamp. Again, just wanting the foam stamp to have contact with the page for a little bit. I think I'm just making a mess now. I should have cleaned the red off first. It's amazing how much ink stays around, but it's just giving it a bit of texture in the background. Oh, it looks better on camera than it does in real person. Don't like it when it does that. Not looking for perfection. I'm going to add a border around the edge, so I'm deliberately not going to the edge. Let's do one across the page. But it's looking better. It's looking lighter on the camera. What I might do is grab some ink pads and we'll do some more ink. So I've just grabbed some of my archival ink pads. So I've got, these are both Ranger ones. So I've got Fossilized Amber and Barn Door, which is the ones that mostly match. The reason I'm going with archival ink is this is not archival, obviously. And I'm going to have to be very careful what I stick over the top. But archival shouldn't bleed into this ink as much. Don't know. We'll see. This is the, I'll just say Fossilized Amber. Oh, it is working. Okay. Maybe I should have went that way instead of the other way. So the longer you hold the foam stamp down, the more contact it has with the paper, the darker your image will be. So you can sort of control that a bit. Reason I like using archival ink pads is when I go to glue something down, it's not going to move. This whole background thing will move. Oops. If you don't like a particular area, that's where you stick your focal image. I'm going to do a border around the edge somehow, and I'm going to swap and do some large ones in this, I think Barn Door this was called. So these foam stamps I make on my website, so they are available for sale. So I'm just wanting to be a bit subtle. Overlapping some of them. I know I'm going to put a border on. That's okay. These little ink pads are ideal because you don't need big ink pads because you can just keep moving your ink pad around to ink up. I'm actually liking that more on the camera as opposed to in real life. But I'm liking it. It's amazing. It's going through its bit of a hot mess stage, but we will get there. And I want to do a little bit more Fossilized Amber. Oh, again, I did it upside down. That would look cool too. You could use the star upside down, but I actually want the star. I don't know why I put it there. I just want to go over the 2 pages. So give me a few opportunities to do some outlining on the stars, which will look really cool. And knowing when to stop is hard. Let's stop. walk away from the ink pad. So I'm going to give that a bit of more of a dry off, and then we're going to look at borders. Some sort of border on it, and I want to put some sort of border on it and some focal images. Let's dry that off. I'll be back. So I've grabbed a few things. I thought I might get some collage pieces. This is Collage Collective Set 4, and I have fussy cut most of these out. So let's pull, I've got them divided into, oh sorry about the crinkling, large and small. So this side I've got all the large ones. Haven't cut up the border ones, which I may go and grab, use on this page. I love the Collage Collective from Diane Weasley. I can't wait to get my hands on their Christmas ones. I've got all their 4 packs so far. So I'm wanting to use some of these and turn them into, actually I like that one on there. Turn this page a bit Christmassy. So let's get rid of stuff we're not going to use, although I do like that frame. Oh, too many choices. I may use my stencil. Hang on, let's just move this over a little, put that there. I said I was going to use the frame. Let's get rid of things that I know I'm not going to use. Don't think I want the zebra. Most of them are fussy cut except for these ones that are really fine. I'll just do those as we go along. I like when they're all cut, and I do like her. I could do something with her. I do like how they are fussy cut, so I can just see if they'll work together. I don't have to stop and cut things out. Some of the middles of the legs I haven't cut out so I don't lose them, but most of these I have fussy cut 100% out. Oh, believe would be a good Christmas saying. Believe, peace. No, what's that? I believe and believe. I'm just moving all these ones over here that I've decided we don't want. And let's get into deciding what we're going to stick down. Let's not procrastinate tonight, Melinda. We'll say that and we'll be procrastinating. Okay. Now, I like the idea of the leaves. Almost looks like holly leaves. So we might use those. Don't know whether I want to use her. So I'm going to let these big, I like the big black and white people, but I don't think they go. I like this one, so maybe get rid of the black and white people. And keep her. So I liked this. Maybe I like that black and white person. So I'll get these, and then I know what colours I'm bringing in. I want to do some sort of border. I do like this. And the problem is sometimes there's not enough. I do have this sort of in a stamp, I think, somewhere. She may need legs. I do like this frame. I want to fussy cut that out. I'll grab my scissors. It is fun just to play around and see what goes where, but I want to do something with this frame because it is kind of funky. So I'm just going to quickly fussy cut this out. Having them all fussy cut, I usually sit in front of the TV and do it. Or sit on a train and fussy cut. I spend a lot of time on trains, going to and from places by myself usually. Or it's great to have them in a little bag, and if you're waiting at the doctor's for your kids, or you're waiting in the car for school pickup, or at their sports, sit there and fussy cut all your images out. So that one will go back into the pile of, I don't know where I put my little rubbish bin I usually have on my desk. So I do like the photo frame. Just don't know which way it will go. I do like it going that way. Maybe she needs to be in the photo frame. Ooh, I'd like her to be in and out of the frame. That would look really cool. She has to have some friends over here. So if I have her, I need a body. this pack was a bit light on with bodies. It seemed to have more, actually. Oh, I do like that. I'm going to cut that off the zebra. I do like to cut these up and give them my own personality as well. So let's, if we tuck her body just inside the frame, you won't know that she was straight. And I'm going to stick that there. Oh, I like that. That's really cool. So I'm going to do a border. Does she need a body and legs? Does she need a body and legs? I don't mind her down there. Take the second sleeve off here. Leave. I like her, but I think she needs body or legs. That green. Or do I want her? Because I'm going to have a border down here. And then I can bring her up a bit. The leaf can be sort of... Maybe I completely move this. See how she's looking back? I like my images to be... Is it up the right way? It is up the right way. Looking sort of into the page. So this girl, because she's looking that way, I'd like her either on this side or this side. I wouldn't put her over here, for example. But I like the idea of she needs like a skirt or something. Oh, I like that a bit better. Gives her a festive. She's got a festive belly because she's eaten too much festiveness. Okay. So I'm liking that. And I've got room for a border, which I have to decide on next. I did grab these, but maybe I can take her crown off and give her a Christmas tree hat. Ooh, that would look good. That would look cool. So I'm quickly just going to cut this Christmas tree out. This is from one of Dylusions stamp sets that I had left over. I do like that on her head. I'm going to take the crown off and put the tree on. Or do I want this frame going? So I want her over here a bit. Her over here a bit. I want this frame going this other way. Ooh, across 2 pages. Then I could have her... Or do I like it going the other way? I think I like the frame going the other way. Can I put it over the middle? I usually don't like things going over the spines in the middle, but I think we're just going to have to do it this time. I think we are just going to have to do it. This could sneak up under here. Okay, I'm going to go finish cutting that out. And I think this lady needs a Christmas tree hat, but I think she needs, she could have this one, but it's a bit I'll cut a bit small. Oh, she can have holly on her head. No, she can have holly on her head. She's going to have holly in her hair to make her a bit more festive. Okay, I'm going to finish cutting these 2 things out and put all these other pieces away and work out what I'm going to do for the border. Okay, I've decided to use my Holly stencil as a border, and I've grabbed the Dylusions shimmer paint, because why not? So I'm just going to take these off. Often I'll take a photo if it's really complicated where I've got things, but that's not that complicated. I can always replay the video if I lose me lose me spots. I was wondering why it was glary. Oh, that's even worse. Leave one of the lights off. Okay, so I'm just going to put some paint out. Love these new shimmer paints. There's a couple I don't have yet. I'll have to put them on my I need it list. Have I used the black yet? No, I haven't. It's dreadful. Used all the other colours. The original 6 that come out. I love the shimmers. They're really, really cool. They've got a ball in them, so you just got to give them a bit of a shake. Just going to squeeze a little bit out. And I've got a Tim Holtz blending tool. I'm just going to blend that into the blending tool so it's not a big blob on top. I should do this on my mat, but then I just want to go and do a border. So I don't want it to be all the same thickness around the edge. So I don't mind if it's thicker in some places and thinner in others, as in it goes in and out. So hopefully we'll get the entire border done without putting any more paint out, which would be cool. Hello, Bunny, what do you want? My daughter's bunnies are running around my feet. One's being particularly loving today and wants to be right near me. Oh, don't like these bits that I've got, but that's okay. This means I've got to try and not go off the stencil. Like there. That's right, I think I've got something covering that up anyway. I should be masking it off, but I'm being lazy. I need some more paint. I'll go over these with a white outline of a pen and I'll make them really, really stand out. That one I just want to do a bit more. I've missed half of it and it looks funny. Really liking how that is going while I've still got some black paint. Just going to grab some. This is like tissue paper or greaseproof paper from Woolworths, and it almost disappears when you glue it on. So any extra paint, when I'm stenciling, I just grab some of this and make my own collage paper. It's amazing how much paint you have in your stencil. I'm trying not to make the table wobble. Amazing how much paint is sucked up in these sponges. So now there's a piece of collage paper I've got to use on another project. My monitor is wobbling all over the place. Hopefully it's not the camera wobbling. That would be bad. So just making sure I don't go off the edge of the paper onto my book. I usually don't do it over the top of my book. Did there, whoops. See that? Sponge is still going. It's nearly out. Okay, I've got to go wash that out. Can we get a little bit up here? Don't need much. Oh, it's amazing how much paint gets sucked up these sponges, and I put a tiny little bit out. So that's really cool paper to use another day. Okay, so I'm going to give that a quick dry. I'm going to go wash my sponge out and I will be back. The paint dries super quick when you put it on with a sponge like that. You can see it shimmering and shining. Now I want to stick everything down and then I'll do some pen work. So I'll bring all these back in. I'm going to glue these down just with the Yoo-Hoo glue stick because I don't want to add gel medium. Usually I stick stuff down with gel medium, but this ink will react. Just got more black paint on me now. Let me see where these were. Oh, I think I'm going to sneeze in a minute. It's very cold here tonight. Oh, excuse me. It's very cold here tonight, and I'm suffering from my art because my heater is all the way over the other side of the room. It's a bit cold. It's making me sneeze. So I think I'm actually going to cut her crown off instead of sticking it over the top, so I can be spongy and use it on something else. And she's going to have the Christmas tree hat. This frame, I'm going to have, which way do I have it? I think I want it sort of this way. Where's her head? Where's her head go? I think it goes this way. I'm going to put the leaf down here. I'm going to do some pen work around the edge, and then I might put a quote in here. So let's stick that down. Let's get rid of that. Just want some area here so I can glue. Now when you're gluing, you've got to glue the things that are in the background first. So I'll start over here. So obviously, her hat might be too big. We'll cut her hat down a bit. I want to ground her to the front of... Oh no, if I ground her to the front, that'll be right. I didn't want to lose all of this beautiful foliage up the top. Almost looks like holly leaves. So I just want a good coating on the piece. And if you can hear that chewing, that is a bunny chewing on some cardboard. Hopefully it's cardboard. I don't want to go have a look. I'm sure it's cardboard. Oh, I should have cut that little bit out. That's right, I'll colour that little bit in up there, that white bit. So she's done, so she goes down next. So obviously the hat's going to be on top. So I'll stick the hat down after I stick this on. I find Yoo-hoo glue sticks work really well over inks and things. Some glue sticks are better than others. Usually I just buy cheap ones, but I managed to get a fair few of these Yoo-hoo ones cheap at school time back in February when school went back here in Australia. So I grabbed a whole bunch of them, still using them up. Just trimming her to the bottom of the page. I like to ground them to the bottom of the page. I don't like things floating, unless they're like floating in that frame, and then it looks like the frame's floating, and that's cool. Got to decide whether I want to colour my Christmas tree or leave it black and white. Might put all my line work on, then I can always come back and colour it in textures later. Sort of pressing it down with the paper towel, giving it a bit of a rub. All get stuck down. I know I've got a bit of glue on the top of that. Oops. And I'll stick this person over. I need a bigger desk. Stick this person over here, so this goes on first. Even though this has got a bit of a blue background behind the green, it won't matter. I like the things. I like grounding these to come down from the top of the page, almost touch the other side of the page. Now, I'll do her feet next. Don't have to trim her feet up. Some of the feet I've pre-cut, but I have sort of left the white in the middle so I don't lose the legs, so they both stay together. So I want her sort of standing here. That bit of paper towel gone. And very sticky fingers. Now, got to decide, do I want that over that? Should have moved her legs in a bit. It ain't going to move now. That's okay. I'll move that down. I think I had that around that way. I might shorten her a bit by moving that down a bit, because I'm going to stick this on her head first. I'm just going to tack it down to her head. So sometimes I'll tack pieces together before I actually... Hi, I can hear you, Bunny. You can hear them on the lino. It's like tick, 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 tick. I'm just wondering if I want to tuck her behind the circle or want her hands to come out. Should just tuck those legs down so No, these aren't going to come off. I stuck them down too well. Whoops. I just didn't want to cover up that too much, but it's just going to be what it is. It is going to be what it is, and I think I like that behind there, so I'm going to do this next. So you just got to work out when you're collaging what goes behind and what goes in front, and obviously things behind you stick down first. My head's very, very fragile. So we almost want her to be like that and then like that. Okay. I think some days I'm too fussy, being too critical. I'm going to move her over just a bit because I didn't want this. Oh, no, it's going to rip if I do that. Oops. Oh. And then before I stick her hands down, I just want to tuck this up and under between her hands. And I had it round this way, I think. Then I will stick her hands down over the top. Didn't do a very good job of gluing that, did I? The first time. Come on. Fun by pushing it down with a paper towel, sometimes it doesn't stick to my fingers. Let's turn my book around so I can see what I'm doing. Tiniest little bit overlapping the edge. Tiniest little bit, and I can't see it cut off. Now, how am I going to stick this frame down? I believe it's going to go down the bottom here, so let's stick that down next. You want to make sure you get right to the edges of your collage when you're gluing them. I believe will be here. Now, anything I don't like about working with a glue stick is glue stick get everywhere. Okay. Now, do I want to have the frame going this way with her head going that way? Or do I want it going the other way? Do I want it going? No, I don't like it going that way. Let's go this way. And because it's going in the centre of my book, because you don't like things going in the centre of the book, it makes them too bulky, but this book's only fairly new, so that's okay. So I'm going to fold it so I can get it right down in the spine. And hopefully that is right. Nope. Needs to come up a bit. Oops, bang. So I'm just going to put glue on this half, which is going to sit on the left hand side of the page, and then I'm going to sort of stick this in here, and hopefully it's in the right spot. Close the book and it should pick it up right in the centre. Hopefully that worked. Now I've just got to sneak some glue on this bit here very carefully, not touch that ink because I don't want it to run. I think it's a crooked frame to begin with, and I'm trying to put it straight. Oh, now, I wanted this to tuck. I forgot to tuck straight in here. Don't you love it when you glue things just too well and then forget that you're wanting to tuck something up under it? So I just want to tuck that in there. just want to tuck the tiniest bit under the frame so it looks like she's coming out from the back of the frame. And then I'm going to stick her head on, which her head goes this way. These collage sheets make it so much easier, so much faster to work, because you've got pre-cut, oh no, you have to cut them out, but you've got elements that you can just cut out and stick together. And I want it touching sort of the top and the other side of the frame. Again, it's going to go down the middle of the book. There we go. Set the tip of her toe didn't get put down. Okay. I am happy with that. It's looking very weird and wonderful. Now, what I want to do is I want to grab some pens. Oh, well, whatever that was, it fell off the desk. So these are my most used pens. I'm collecting a lot of pens, and these are the ones that are open. So I've got black Poscas, I've got my trusty black other one, I've got white, I've got blue, I've got orange, I've got silver. So this is my pencil case of the pens I have to start using first. Then when I kill these ones, I can go to my other stash and grab another pen, a new one, because I'm forever grabbing new ones and losing pens. So I thought if I start working on having them in the one spot, I won't lose them. Now the first thing I want to do is outline all my pieces. I've got to make sure the glue is completely dry. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me outline all the pieces. So basically you're just outlining on the background around all the pieces, and because this piece is on top of that piece, we draw on top of the green piece. Gives them a defining layer. 99% of the time I do this in black, and you just got to make sure your glue is dry, because Posca pens do not like glue. So you can see that line just there. It's not much, but it brings your whole piece together and makes the pieces look like they're not stuck on. So you can see the difference there. See how I've outlined that in black, where down here I haven't. So the girl here hasn't been outlined, but up here has. And then what I want to do, so I'm going to go through and outline all my images. And then what I want to do is I want to go around my holly and put some white. Now sometimes my white Posca pen is being a pain and doesn't want to draw. So I'm just trying to do a really sketchy line. Again, you have to wait until the paint's dry. I'll just do this little bit because I'm going to do it all around. I may have to go find a new Posca paint pen. Let's give this one a bit of a shake. I don't want it to be bright white. I just want it to be add a bit of detail. Oh, there we go. No, it works through a few seconds. Maybe it's empty. You can sort of hear the sound. The black's obviously full. The white's obviously struggling, and it may mean that it's running out. Let's see if I can't do this down here. Otherwise, I'll go find another pen. Yeah, I think this white pen is dead. I think it might have been used too much. Doing a lot of this sort of work lately. But you can get the drift of, see how the white outline, if I can get on the right spot, just brings it to life. So I'm going a little inside the black shape, like not right on the edge. You can go right on the edge, and it's quite messy, but that's okay. That's how I like it. I'm going to have room for a quote over here. So I'm going to go finish the black lines around everything off camera, because you don't need to see me trace around everything. And then I'm going to do the white lines all around the border, and then I'll come back and I'll do some sort of saying here. Oh, it's got a bit of glue on. And her hand's not stuck down properly. So I'd probably leave this ink overnight. And I may do that actually, it's getting quite late here. So I may leave this overnight before I attack it with my pens, because that's how you can ruin pens. By going in when your ink is too wet or your glue is too wet. So it's quite easy to draw around the cutout images because they're cut out and stuck on top. They sort of have, shoes not stuck down. Sort of gives you a line to lean your pen against. And if you're a little off or do a bit of a mistake, no one's really going to know. So this last bit of the line work actually makes your pages stand out and come from just an okay page to a beautiful page. Stick his foot down. So we'll do around this sleeve. And I might go turn the telly on, sit in front of the telly and do all my outlining. And then I'll come back and show you what I've done. And the other thing I don't like to do all this outlining in camera is because I like to be quite close to my work. Oops. And sometimes my big head gets in the way. You can just see this little bit I've done with the legs and these arms here. It just looks so different to up here. That little line just makes the pieces look awesome. And what I might also do is do some outlining of these stars in the background. Actually, I'm going to put a quote there. So maybe I'm not going to do it right there. But what I can do is bring out any of these stars in the background. So this is just a small nibbed pen. This is a, what is this? Uniball Eye Micro. So it's a waterproof pen and it's got a really nice fine nib on it for doing line work. So I'm just picking out those stars that I did before, the ones I stamped in ink, and just going to highlight a few of these in the background where I can see them. So I can see one here which will be cute highlighted. So it doesn't matter if you're not perfect on the star or if there's a bit missing, just make it up. I'm going to do the circles. Sorry, I thought I had a bunny under my feet chewing something I shouldn't. Those bunnies like to grab stuff they shouldn't. So even though I can't see the circles over here, I'm just going to draw them in. Oh, now I can see them. They're actually supposed to be little stars when they stamp, but some of these got a bit smudgy. So just to make it look like it's supposed to be there on all of them, I'm just going to add in the little circles where I think they should be. And no one will know that you did it. So I'm going to put a quote here, I think. So I don't really want to do this star. I might do this one up the top here. And it helps to bring these elements into the foreground as well. And that one I stuffed up a little bit. Hey, let's not tell anyone that. This one up here will do. So if I did these stars with the stencil, I could certainly put the stencil back on, but because they were done with the stamp, and again, if you don't get them correctly right, no one will know any difference. See how that has just brought these elements and tied them all together as well. So there's a little bit on this side that I can go and do behind the person. It's good to have your elements coming around and behind the people as well. As I said, I'm going to do some sort of quote in here, so I don't particularly want to do that one. This one over here I want to do something with. So this one's smudged quite badly. So I'm going to see if I can. Make up a star shape without stuffing it up, and I think I have stuffed it up already. I've got to fix that bottom bit up. So I keep hearing a noise and think it's a bunny chewing on something, but I think it's creaking. Not real happy with what I've done up here, but that's okay. I might end up sticking something there. My star got a bit wayward because I couldn't quite see where I was doing it. But that is okay. I might stick another decoration there. I'm happy with most of everything else on the page. And for me, it's not about having the end result of the page. It's more about having fun along the way. This white paint pen is not liking me. Usually if they're doing this, I put them aside to have a go with in a couple of days. Sitting, sometimes if you sit them like this in a cup, all the paint drains down, but that does sound quite empty, so I'll go grab a new one. And I'll come back and show you all the white when I've done around the edge and all the black outlining. So it's been a while since I've come and finished this page for you. It'll be 1 second from the last clip to this clip, but it's been over a month. Whoops, life's just crazy nuts at the moment. So I have done all the outlining on the hollies with the white pen. I managed to wrangle with my white pen. I outlined this because I really couldn't see what I was doing and I don't like it, so I'm going to cover that up in a minute. This bit I like. This bit I left blank because I'm going to put a title here and I outlined these sort of two stars, and I sort of outlined this back one as well and one over here. So whatever stars I could see I outlined, but yeah, this is just, couldn't really see it, didn't really work, made it up and made it wonky, and it's really annoying me, but we're going to cover it up. So I decided to grab some Dylusion stamps. This is Dye's Alphabet. That's a real original name for it. So I've stamped out, and they're not in order because I'm going to cut them all up. I've stamped out TIS, so I'm going to put TIS, and then I'm going to put the season 2, and then we've got Believe down here. So I'm going to cut all the letters out individually so I can sort of put them a bit wonky. The white just around the letters and the inside of the letters will help tie the white in as well. So let me pause and cut all this out because you don't need to see me cut letters because that's a bit boring. And I'll be back and we'll glue them on and then our page will be finished. Well, that didn't take that long to fussy cut all these images out. I'm just playing around with up here to cover up my mess. I think I like that. I did have a little apostrophe, but I don't think Tiz has an apostrophe. I think I like the placement of those. So the last thing is to glue it down. Now I did mention before, but I did stamp on 160 GSM paper, which is what I like to stamp on. It's a nice weight, but not too thick. So you do need to use a decent glue to stick it down, especially because we're sticking over actually I'm not going to use that because that needs to go upside down. Let's grab just some good old-fashioned craft glue. So you want a little more than like a glue stick because I find sticking, especially over the sprays we used, sometimes you need to use a bit stronger glue. I don't want to use like a gel medium because I don't want to get any on top, plus the inks that I used are still water reactive. Oops. Got a bit of glue. That one's upside down. So I like these letterings from Dylusions because they match any of the lettering she does on here, even though it's a different size and it's different sort of font. Or the same sort of font, but different size, so it matches in. So I'm just starting with the middle letters. If I'm sticking a big word and I sort of want it to be central, I do start with the middle letter. And I don't mind if they're a bit crooked. That adds to it. And I like the little bit of white showing. Now I could have, if I wanted them not to be white, I could have sprayed them or sprayed the paper or painted the paper before I stamped, but I do like the white. And also with the liquid glue, you have a little bit of wiggle room too, which is good. And I much prefer to stamp them and cut these letters out individually because I often put them upside down because they're really hard to see. Now let's do this eye first. They're really hard to see to stamp up the correct way. Plus, if I went to stamp directly on the book, because my book's getting a bit bulky, I wouldn't get as crisp, clear image. That's why I do like to stamp on the paper and cut it out. And I use my Tim Holtz stamping press or a stamping platform so I can go over it a couple of times to get it really dark. Now I've got glue exploding. Got glue coming out of the tip. I don't want to put my cap on because then it will do the dull finger trick. It will stick to the cap. Great thing about that glue is it just rubs off your fingers. So this is my completed Dylusions page. I'll bring it up so you can see. It's showing a lot more red in the camera than it is. It's actually showing a bit more orange because I did use Campfire Distress Stain. I quite like it. Something different, and I like the black border around the edge as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time in another video, another day. The links will be down below. My good friend from Hillbilly Scrapping sells the collage sheet. She has these stamps, I believe. She can order the word stamps in. And I'll leave a link for the Collage stencil, which comes from my store below. And Jen from Hillbilly Scrapping also sells the distress stains as well. So I'll leave a link for her website and my website below. So if you do want to be inspired by what I've done, you can certainly do that. Bye for now.